In the bustling heart of a city where skyscrapers kissed the sky, Ethan lived a life that, to the casual observer, seemed entirely ordinary. He worked days as a barista in a quaint little cafe, serving cappuccinos with meticulously crafted foam, art to the locals who frequented it. But beneath his amiable demeanor lay a secret that tethered him to a life more extraordinary than he cared to acknowledge. Ethan was the bearer of a demonic power, an ancient curse passed down through generations of his family. Unlike his ancestors who had shunned or been consumed by it, Ethan had chosen a different path. He had dared to wield this forbidden strength not for mayhem, but to protect those who could not protect themselves. He had learned of his destiny on his 18th birthday. On that night, the air crackled with electricity as if the universe itself recognized the significant turning of a page in the book of his life. A letter, penned by his grandfather long deceased, mystically surfaced in his room. It warned Ethan of the darkness within him, but also spoke of his potential to bring light in moments of despair. Since then, Ethan had embraced his eccentric role. In the shadows of the night, he donned a hooded cloak to hide his identity and traversed the winding alleys of the city, his senses heightened. The core of the city was controlled by a man named Victor Carlyle, a ruthless billionaire whose smile never reached his eyes. Under his reign, the people toiled without respite, crushed by a system only he profited from. Fear was his weapon, and any who dared oppose him were swiftly silenced by his loyal enforcers. Ethan worked quietly but fiercely, amassing alliances and empowering his group with hope. With his demonic power, he could become a force of sheer speed and strength unmatched, often intervening as a mysterious savior during Victor's attempts to expand his tyrannical influence. His deeds became legends whispered among the oppressed, stories of a shadowy figure who turned the very tool of terror into a beacon of hope. Ethan became a harbinger of justice. He ignited a fire beneath the feet of Victor's followers, inspiring others to stand up. But he remained vigilant, ever aware of the tightrope he walked between using his power for good and darkness. The struggle between using his power for good and falling into the trap of darkness was perpetual. Every night, he reminded himself of the letter and the burden of both his choices and his power. Ethan's journey was far from over, but he was resolute in his mission. As long as injustice slithered through the streets, the young man with a demonic heart would not rest. He was determined to carve out a future where his community could breathe free without fear.